Hello friends, in the series which we are doing on understanding popular culture, we will talk about the expression of popular culture on television. In the earlier talk regarding the expression of popular culture on television, we talked about the kind of television programming which is there in India and how television it has tried to express the popular culture in various ways. And we also talked about the emergence of the developments in the framework of the television industry beginning in 1950s and thereafter, and how in 1960s and 70s we find that not much developments could take place with regard to the television programming. And Doordarshan was the only channel, and thereafter we find that certain metro channels, they were also being started. But the major change in the context of the television industry could be seen in the 1990s with the arrival of the cable television, where we find that more and more channels, they were being introduced in India with the arrival of the cable television. And thereafter we see that how the DTH, or direct to home, it revolutionized the television industry. And we find that the various kinds of programs which are being shown on television, they are indicative of the kind of popular culture, because the people, they are in a way hooked to television on day-to-day basis, and they are the ones, those who are viewing all these kinds of programs which are made by the television industry. And many a times we also see that how certain festivals, the way they are being shown on television and the films, and how, for example, the Ganapati festival, it became an important festival, though it was initially quite popular in Maharashtra, but over a period of time we find that this festival achieved that kind of significance at all India level. Similarly, the Navratri festival, which was largely confined to Bengal, and over a period of time we find that it is being celebrated across the country. And we find that especially Durga Puja, which was also largely concerned with Bengal, and Karwa Chauth from Punjab, Navratri from Gujarat, are again some of the regional festivals, and how these festivals, they have been popularized by TV. So when we say that how Navratri from Gujarat, as I earlier said that it was from Bengal, so that was a mistake, and Durga Puja from Bengal, how both of them they are in a way shown on the television, and how people they are able to connect with them, and over a period of time they have also been able to cater to such kind of audience which are in a way want to see these kinds of programming, where such kind of festivals, etc., they are being shown time and again on television. We also have seen that apart from these kinds of portrayal of festivals on television, we find that a popular film called Jai Santoshi Ma, which was made in 1970, which was a blockbuster, and how this film rediscovered the obscure goddess which is mentioned in mythology as Ganesha's daughter, and this film also became quite popular. Apart from that, we find that certain television serials, they are also showing certain serials which have a lot of value. One of them is the Shirdi Sai Baba, and then you have certain serials which are based on certain rituals which are there in the society, so we are able to connect them with mythologies. For example, in the earlier lecture we talked about Mahabharata and Ramayana, that how these two TV serials, they became quite popular in 1980s and 1990s. Apart from that, we also see that that early cinema, which was in a way, which was the mythological cinema, which was silent in nature, and how it was trying to portray the Hindu pantheon, and over a period of time these kinds of films, which were the mythological films, they became quite popular. In that sense, we see that the Indian television industry has also is also able to show certain serials, and these serials, they are also in a way connected to certain religions, and they have also been quite popular as well. And we also find that many a times certain books which become quite popular, and how the success of these books which might be on religion or myths, and these books, they have also become quite popular in the recent times, that Devdutt Patnaik and Amish Tripathi, those who are the recent writers, those who are writing about the religion as well as myths. And so this also reinforces this kind of a point, that how the audience is in a way addicted to the ideas which are concerned with mythology as well. And we also see that how television basically is referred to as an idiot box, because it is being seen as for the passive viewing. And when people, they are addicted to television, they are not able to put their minds to any kind of an active learning. They are just recipients of, or the passive recipients of, the kind of programs which are being shown on television. And but when we see that how television has penetrated every home, in that sense that a TV set will be found in almost all the homes. And initially, when we tend to see the programming of television, as I told you in the earlier lecture as well, that the programs like Krishi Darshan, etc., or a popular film song program called Chitrahar, they were quite popular. But over a period of time, this kind of programming also changed, and Doordarshan as a channel also lost prominence, in the sense that it had to compete with so many private channels. And when these private channels they were competing with the Doordarshan, then the people those who were watching these kinds of programs, they were more concerned, or they were more connected to the newer kinds of program. And in a way, the kind of viewership which was being enjoyed by Doordarshan in the initial times, it got lost. And we also see that with the arrival of the DTH, or the direct to home technology, and the arrival of the dish antennas at every nook and corner of the country, and how where cable TV could not reach, DTH could easily reach there, and it was operating directly through the satellite television. So the recent kind of DTH is the satellite television, because it did not require any kind of a wire as it was needed in the cable television. And now it could directly connect with the satellite, and the weather was to be the factor which could influence the broadcasting of the various kinds of programs on the TV. And we also have seen in the recent times that the various kinds of genres of the channels, whether the cartoon channels or the news channels or the wildlife or history, all these kinds of rich diversity of programs is being made available to the audience. And how this kind of availability of programs on the various channels, because of which we find that there is a lot of competition among channels as well, and they are competing for the TRPs, and because of which many a times we find that TRP is the television rating points, and which in a way convey the popularity and the mass viewing of a particular program. And we also have to see that how television has also been able to provide jobs to the people. Television industry, where people are not only working in front of the camera, but at the same time at the back of the camera. The television programs which are being made now, the people those who are involved in making of these kinds of programs, in terms of the production team, in terms of the support staff, all of them, they are getting a lot of work in the television industry. And we also find that so many companies, they are also catering in terms of providing the TV channels with the kind of programs which are needed. So jobs are also created at the level of these companies, which are involved in terms of producing programs for the television. And we have also seen in the recent times that how the actors and the actresses, those who are working on the television, and how they are also behaving like the film stars, and they are trying to model themselves on the film stars. So some of the film stars of the earlier times, those who are not able to secure jobs or some kind of a work in the television industry, how they are also working in the television industry as well. And at the same time, many of the popular film stars, those who are getting a lot of films, they are also working in the television sector as well. One most important case could be the case of Amitabh Bachchan in the Kaun Banega Crorepati, and how this kind of a programming changed the status of the television itself, that he was one of the most important film star who came to the television sector, which was not initially in a way seen to be a place where the film star had to come. But we found that after the coming of Amitabh Bachchan on this television show, we find that other film stars, they also came to the television sector. And even the kinds of festivals or the kinds of competitions at the level of the various programmings which take place on the television scene, where so many television channels, they are competing for getting some kind of a tag that it was the best channel over a period of time in terms of entertainment. So for that, various kinds of festivals, etc., they are also being organized. And how TV industry is nowadays in terms of modeling itself on the film industry. And it is also organizing certain kinds of award shows on the lines of the film industry as well, where TV shows and their makers, they are competing against each other. We also have seen that the kind of changes which have come over a period of time in the various TV formats as well, that the educational programs, as I told you, Kaun Banega Crorepati, for example, is a quiz show. Or for example, the sports shows which are dealing with the information which is connected to sports, or for example the news programs which are not only showing the news, but at the same time some kind of a debate and discussion among the experts is also undergoing on the news channels as well. And we also see that some of the serials, they how these kinds of serials, they are connected to the reality shows. And reality shows definitely also provide some kind of an outlet to the people, in that sense that they are able to showcase their talent. And many a times we have seen that because of these reality shows, so many people, they were able to not only secure jobs but also made their career as well in terms of maybe singing or dancing or acting, because these reality shows, they are also promising these people that they will get some kind of a work in these particular kinds of sectors, apart from the kind of prize money which they get. So we find that how the various kinds of TV formats, they are also playing an important role in terms of the expression of the popular culture, because popular culture is related to the lifestyle as well, the dress and the food. In certain channels, they are trying to portray or they are connected to the certain kind of programming which are providing information about the dress and food as well, apart from the reality shows or the sports shows, or some of the shows which are concerned with religion as well, or some kind of programs or serials which are connected to religion. So many a times television has also been criticized, that how it is being negative in nature, some kind of a decay of cultural values has taken place because of television. And how even when the women, they are getting educated, even then it is being shown that the kind of rapid industrial growth which is happening, the urbanization which is being taken place, and how TV is trying to in a way trying to deride the living in the joint families as being shown in certain programs, and it is also trying to portray a picture of a nuclear family. And that is how we find that this trend of the rise of the nuclear family has also in a way led to the disintegration of the various family values as well, and the ideas which were associated in the context of the respecting of the parents and the elders, and in the context of contributing financially to the family responsibilities, they are also giving way to the new ideas where such kind of responsibilities are not being taken up. And we also see that how the glorification of pursuing a glitzy lifestyle at the cost of compromising on the moral values can be seen in increasing number of the live-ins, one-night stands, and the spiraling divorce rates. So this kind of lifestyle which is being shown on the television is also being criticized on certain grounds. But at the same time, as I told you earlier as well, that how certain programs like Kaun Banega Crorepati brought some kind of a positive shift in the gender scenario in our country, where we find that so many women, they have also gone to this particular kind of a program, and how they have made their mark in that particular program, where they were able to secure a lot of money for the family, in that sense that they were the winners. And it not only brought money, but at the same time it increased their fame, and the pride of the family was also increased that way. And we also find that many of the shows where literate and the career women, they are shown as the equals, and this has given some kind of a respect to the women, those who are seeking financial independence, and those who want to create their own identity away from the borrowed identities of their fathers and brothers. So this, in a way, the reality TV has provided this kind of a benefit to many women as well. And at the same time, we find that reality TV has also not made any kind of a distinction between the people, those who are coming from different backgrounds as well, that the people, those who are speaking different languages, or those who are from different economic and social strata as well, and how it has tried to treat everyone on similar lines, or in a similar way. And anyone who has that kind of a talent can emerge winner, irrespective of the fact that whether he has money or not, or whether he belongs to one particular area or not, or whether he belongs to one particular religion or not. So all these kinds of distinctions which are there, they could not be seen in the idea where the people from different backgrounds, they are competing against each other. And so this particular idea, in a way, tries to show that how people from different walks of life, they can also dream big, and they can also have wings. And some of the programs like on music, dance, etc., they try to bring the kind of talent which is there in the society as well. So we also see that some of the programs which are shown on television, they are also dealing with certain scientific ideas, and these scientific ideas may create a situation where the scientific inquiry among the younger generations is ignited, and it will also definitely make them capable of performing the scientific experiments and the studies socially, and also at the same time at home as well. So we find that how reality TV has provided some kind of respect to the women, those who do not subscribe to the regressive social practices of parda, ghungat, burqas, and social ostracization during the monthly cycles as well. So this kind of a change, which is a positive kind of a change, is also being brought about by the reality TV. And this kind of a positive change in the context of the gender, or in the context of the capability of the people in the society, is a positive development. And we also find that how the relay of the Chandrayaan 1 and 2 and Mangalyaan, they also spread a wave of immense national pride, and how the foreign dignitaries, those who come to India, how they salute the national flag, and which is telecast live on the Republic Day. So all these kinds of things, they are also connected to the ideas of patriotism, nationalism and national pride. And so this brings some kind of a positive impact on the spirit of nationalism in our country, the idea of patriotism which is being shown. And we also find that how women, they are also making mark at international levels, where they are winning medals in different events, not only in the different sports at the South Asian level, but at the same time at the level of Olympics as well. So this kind of a shift could also be seen on the television as well, when the achievers, those who are there in the sports sector, when these achievers, they come and they are being shown on the television, then they also become some sort of role models for the people, those who are watching these television serials and the other kinds of reality TV or programming. We also find that how the people, those who are associated with the film industry, how they also get associated with the television programming, and how they also become some sort of judges to certain television serials or reality shows, and how the people, those who are not active in the film industry, or those who have been discarded in some way from the film industry, in that sense that they are not able to secure work for themselves, and when they come to television, they are also trying to prove their mettle on the small screen, and at the same time the small screen is also very happy to accept these people, because they have definitely been big when they were quite active enough in the film industry. And this kind of a change which has been seen over a period of time is not only concerned with one or two programs, but these kinds of changes could be seen with so many programs on different kinds of channels, and how these channels, when they are trying to portray these kinds of programs, then they are also trying to express the popular culture as well. And but also we have to see one aspect, that how there is a lot of commercialization of this medium as well, because how even the news channels, they carry advertisements not only during the breaks, but there is a strip below when news bulletins, they are also being telecasted, and how also television channels, they are trying to compete with each other in the context of the TRPs. And so in this context, I'd like to suggest that definitely television has played an important role in terms of taking the Indian culture to the masses, and that popular culture in the context of the different programs, whether it is connected to the films or whether it is connected to the cricket in India, where we find that how both of them, they are considered to be some sort of a religion in India. And there are so many films which have been made on cricket in recent times as well. Mahendra Singh Dhoni or 83, for example, which is dealing with the India's triumph in the World Cup in 1983. And there's a recent film which is going to be which has recently hit the theaters, which has been recently made, in which Taapsee Pannu has acted, and it is also connected to the game of cricket, especially concerned with the women cricket. So we find that how this kinds of portrayal, which is connected to the cricket as well as films, and how time and again they have been shown on the Indian television, because they have a lot of viewership of certain kinds of programs which are connected to these two fields. So we'll talk about all other kinds of aspects in our future lectures. Thank you very much.